Hi guys, how's it going? Craig Reeves here. Just want to have a little informal conversation about something that we saw at the beginning of the week. It's about a white paper that got delivered by the government to local councils. It's all about devolving power from the government to our local authorities. Now, to do that, there's two moving parts here. The one is if you're a two-tier system like we are here in Wychavon and Worcestershire, you're going to become one unitary super council. Now, what does that mean? Let's just go into the nuts and bolts of that for a moment. So, currently, as I say, we have the two councils. You've got county council and district. Now, they communicate with one another. They work well with one another most of the time. They do things separately. There's two teams of people that work on two different sets of briefs. I mean, at the end of the day, what Wychavon are refuse, parks, planning, what have you, and parking. And you got Worcestershire that are kind of highways, schooling, education, all that kind of thing. We do separate things, but of course, some of those situations need to interweave with one another. Now, of course, communication can sometimes be a little bit hard work. Things can get lost in the system. People don't communicate as quickly or as effectively they should do. Things get delayed. It's a bit of a gripe. I've seen it myself in such a short time that I've been elected since August. My county councillor, if anyone in my ward has managed to get hold of her in the last year, it would be an absolute amazement, because I've tried, other people have tried, and it's difficult, especially when people are coming to me with county issues and I can't get all of them resolved because the county councillor is pretty absent. But anyway, what happens if that person gets elected in 2026? That's going to be interesting. Anyway, let's move on to, because I'll talk about that in a moment. What will happen? Well, of course, two councils, there's going to be a bit of a staff and a complete council cull to form the new super council. We see these already. You know, Medway have got a unitary council. We've got a system in Manchester and London, of course, which is a mayoral system. I've said the word mayor and mayoral system so many times it's lost all meaning now. But we have these unitary councils where all the funding comes in and gets allocated, managed by the one council. Of course, didn't work very well in Birmingham, where recently went bankrupt. Of course, you put all your eggs in one basket. Not great at times, but there are some efficiencies to be made. And of course, you just saw me mention about the mayor system. The mayor system is the second part to this white paper. So not only are we going to be forming the council to become one council, the two councils become one council, we're also going to introduce a mayor system. Now, you will vote for your councillor, the one councillor that will cover a more than likely greater geographical boundary than your current councillors do. And that one councillor will take on the responsibility of what would be typically, I suppose, both county and district responsibilities. So you vote for that person. Obviously, there'll be party political persuasions in there. You'll then vote for your mayor, who will also be of a party political persuasion. Once that mayor is in place, that mayor is effectively, I guess, what would typically have been the leader of a council, but that mayor will have more... they're calling it devolved powers from government, allowing that person to make changes that suits the area better. So what works for Manchester or London might not work, of course, for Worcestershire. So we will make changes that are appropriate to us with the new powers, and of course spend money in the way that we need to spend money here. I think from an efficiency point of view, that's fantastic, and maybe we can see better services. That's the whole point of what this white paper and the movement is trying to achieve. So yes, the thing that I think we might lose from this is the already fractured relationship that people have with politics, because at the moment I feel like we have quite a number of councillors on the ground. I'm certainly trying to make efforts to speak to people like I am right now, but of course speak to people on the ground. People come up to me daily, see me in the street, stopping me in my car to say, hey, I've just got this issue. I have emails daily, and it's all about being personal. It's all about, speaking with the people in my ward and resolving their issues. With less councillors, boots on the ground, with greater responsibilities across the board, will we see a greater rift? Who knows? Time will tell. The biggest concern that I have about all of this, and it's not necessarily about the model that would be coming into play, is that in 2026, we're pipped to have the elections. That's when we're going to have the mayoral election and we'll have the new councillor election. The 2025 elections in May for the county will potentially be cancelled. That's not a given, but could potentially be cancelled, because if you do vote in a county councillor in May 25, they'll only have the position for a year. Then come May 2026, 2026 we hold the new elections. So that'll be interesting. What I fear is that the reason why I got into this game, the politics, and I wanted to see change. I felt like there was a bit of a rift between what politics was doing and what the reality for people like myself was. I wanted to communicate better. I want to make some proper changes. I want to pitch some changes in January. I've been working on to help uplift our town centres. What's going to happen with that when there's a shelf life now? 2026, we're going to see mega change. So I think it'll be a real shame if some of the policies that have already been approved and in play more recently, and those that for want of change in 2025, what will happen to those policies? What will happen to things that haven't been quite signed off yet when we trip into the new council? I already feel, in particular with Evesham, which is my neighbouring town, for the ward I represent, it's been in decline for too long. We're seeing a shopping centre that was supposed to be regenerated in 2016 and hasn't happened. We're talking about 8 years ago now. I want change to have happened 8 years ago, not this year, not next year. But the reality is, of course, Wychavon, let's just delve into this a little bit. Wychavon put the cards on the table and said that they wanted to purchase the Riverside Shopping Centre. That's the intention of the council. Now, that's obviously Wychavon Council. And I think that's a great move because our council will be liable for actually getting it done, unlike that of the private investor that bought it in 2016 and has done absolutely jack all to it. We've just seen the town slowly spiralling down. Now, I want that to change. Obviously, the people at Wychavon that have disclosed the will, the intent to want to buy it, will see change. But what happens now? Because obviously in 2026, we're going to have a situation where anything in play like that might not suit the new narrative. There's going to be political changes as well as staffing changes and budget changes. So I think that's what I fear the most, because I want to see our town get better. I want to see the bar get higher, and I don't want there to be a prolonged, heel-dragging, lackluster approach to getting things done because in 2026 it's all going to change anyway. I am certainly, definitely, with my foot firmly on the pedal, wanting to see change. For me, I'm seeing this as a target to see as much as I can get done before 2026. My tenure now has been cut short, a lot shorter than I thought it was when I got in. I was already a year, it was a by-election I won, so obviously I was a year out of kilt already. I thought that I'd be seeing through this position to 2027. That's obviously now going to change. So for me, it's all about getting things done and seeing the best results within that time frame. Typically, things at council are a bit slow. I think we're going to need to ramp some stuff up now. It's going to be a really interesting couple of months as we see what happens. The council needs to put a plan in place that gets presented to the government for approval. As I say, we're pretty railroaded here with the decisions that are being made. We have to double up with a county district. They have to become the one. So it's obviously going to happen at some point. The mayoral system isn't necessarily a given, but it's probably going to happen. So it's going to be interesting what happens. I really do not want our services and our motivation to be stumped by this, to go stale. We need to keep that pressure on. Anyway, those are the thoughts from me, guys. I'm going to do a lot more of these. If you don't follow me, do follow me. There's plenty of content on my page. As I say, I'm trying to do things slightly differently, give it a bit more of a podcasty feel, introducing to you issues, presenting to you resolutions, and talking to you in a fashion that isn't in a suit from a distance. Anyway, right. I'll catch up with you guys soon. I'll keep you updated with what's going on with all this lot. Thanks, guys, for listening. Till the next one. See you later.